Okay, let's start our discussion from the perspective of sociology. Kahapon is we're done discussing the self from the perspective of philosophy. So ngayon naman, let us start discussing um what is the self, or what is the definition of the self pagdating naman sa sociology. So, first one, let us define what is sociology. Sociology is one of the disciplines in the social science which aims to discover the ways by which the social surrounding environment influences people's thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So, katulad ng philosophy, ang sociology is part din siya ng social science. And ang sociology kasi is ang focus nito is the social surrounding in the environment. So, paano yung surrounding natin or yung environment na ginagalawan natin is nakaka-influence pagdating sa thoughts natin, sa mga bagay na iniisip natin, sa emotions, so as sa way on how we behave as a person. And bakit kasama ang sociology on how are we going to furthermore understand ourselves? Kasi like philosophy, since sociology is also part of social science, kailangan din nating tingnan kung paano tayo or kung paano natin mas maiintindihan yung sarili natin from the perspective of the sociology. So, kailangan din kasi natin minsan para mas makilala natin yung sarili natin is ma-realize natin kung ano nga ba yung mga bagay na tumatakbo at ano nga ba yung bagay na meron tayo sa ating place or sa environment na ginagalawan. So, yun. Next one, let us discuss the first philosopher or first sociologist that we have. So, number one, he is George Herbert Mead. And he graduated and taught grade school at the Oberlin College. So, in 1887, he enrolled at Harvard University where his main interests were philosophy and psychology. Pero he is also a sociologist. So, yung kanyang um, theory is about social behaviorism. Ayan, social behaviorism, ito yung approach na ginamit ni Mead para ma-describe yung power ng environment sa human behavior. So, social behaviorism. So, yun yung concept niya na nakatulong sa kanya or ginamit niya para mas ma-explain kung bakit um, merong, kung bakit yung environment natin as a human being is meron siyang impact sa ating pagkatao or meron siyang impact sa ating mga sarili. So as Mead described as the self of dimension of personality that is made up of the individual self-awareness and self-image. So, naniniwala siya na yung personalidad ng isang tao is hindi lang iisa. Pero, in order for us to develop or know the dimension of our personality, dapat alam natin kung ano yung individual self natin or aware tayo sa kung ano man yung ating behavior, ano yung ating attitude, ano yung ating thoughts, feelings, ayan. And how do we see ourselves in front of the mirror? Ganun siya. So as for need social self, ayan, the self cannot be separated from the society. So, for need is yung sarili daw natin or yung self is parte siya ng society. Unlike sa mga philosophers na para sa kanila, yung self ay iisa. Self is our mind, our soul, ganyan, body, yun ang mismo yung self. But for George Herbert Mead, yung self daw natin is part siya ng society. Kaya it cannot be separated from the society. And for him, as we grow old, is we undergo different set of stages. Like, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi siya katulad ng mga philosophers na um, they tackle evil, good, and ignorance. Ayan. But for the sociologists, is they spend more on, or yung focus nila is more on the self and the society. And naniniwala si Mead na as we grow older, no, habang tumatanda daw tayo, is nag-undergo tayo ng different stages. So, number one, he has the preparatory stage. So, yung preparatory stage, this is 0 to 3 years old. So, in this stage, the children's behavior is primarily based on the imitation. It observed that the children imitate the behaviors of those around them, especially members of the family whom they have daily interaction with. So, kung mapapansin nyo, or kung na-try nyo na mag-alaga ng bata na from 0 to 3 years old, no, ang kanilang madalas na ginagawa is they always imitate the person in front of them. So dito nga prominent, or dito nga applicable yung part ng imitation. Kasi kung ano yung makikita nila sa paligid nila is they imitate it, 'di ba? Meron nga akong pamangkin na 3 years old daw, sasabihin sa kanya nung nanay niya, okay, ano ang sound ng duck? Ayan, tapos bigla siyang sabi ng kwak-kwak, ganon. So, dun sa stage na yan kasi prominent nga si imitation. So, yung mga bata is they were always observant. And kung ano man yung makita nila, like for example, yung sounds of the animals, or yung they see their mother na nagme-makeup, ganyan, or they wanted to be pretty. Yan. Sa ganyang stage is nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na imitation. Ayan. So, madalas na ini-imitate nila or ginagaya nila kung ano man yung mga bagay na nakikita nila dyan, or behavior ng tao na nandyan sa paligid nila. Ayan. So, after that, after preparatory stage, since the babies, or we know how to imitate other people. So, dito naman sa play stage, which is 3 to 5 years old, the children starts to view themselves in relation to others as they learn to communicate through language and symbols. So, kung ang mga bata sa preparatory stage, they communicate through imitation and they imitate the adults or the things around them. Ayan. Sa play stage naman, dito natin na-realize na hindi lang tayo nag-iisa. Dito tayo nag-i-start na makipag-communicate sa ibang tao using the different symbols, using the languages that we have. So, dito tayo nakakabuo ng friendship, or dito nabubuo ng mga bata or natin yung ating social skills. Ayan. So, kasi dito natin nararanasan makipag-socialize around our age din. Diba? Kasi ito yung stage kung kailan sila, or kailan yung bata papasok na sa kindergarten or sa daycare, ganyan. Siyempre, yung mga madalas na nakakasalamuhan nila doon is mga ka-age din nila. So, yan. So, next one, through communication, social relationship are formed. Children begin to role play and pretend to be other people. So, upgrade na, no? Nag-upgrade naman yung kanilang imitation, or nag-upgrade naman yung ating imitation in this stage. So, instead na imitation yung ginagawa natin, we begin to role play. Kasi since we form social relationship through communication, nabubuo din yung ating imagination. So as dito rin nabubuo yung mga dreams ng mga bata, no? na sabi nila, when I grow up, I wanted to be like this. I wanted, for example, I wanted to be a doctor, a firefighter, like that. And dito, nagkakaroon ng role playing. So, like for example, yung mga bata na mahilig sila maglaro ng luto-lutuan, ganyan, bahay-bahayan. So, dito yon nagsisimula. Kasi, they wanted to imitate or hindi na imitate they wanted to play a role just like the adults do. Ayan. So, that's why they pretend to be the other people. So, next one, the significant development of the self. Bakit siya significant and developing the self? Since, dito sa stage na to, nare-realize ng bata na hindi lang siya nag-iisa and hindi na siya yung center ng mundo. So, that's why he begin to communicate with others and dun din nabubuo yung social relationship nito. And dahil dun sa social relationship na yon is mas nagwa-widen or mas lumalawak yung imagination. So, as yung perspectives ng isang bata na hindi lang siya nag-iisa. But, kailangan niyang i-consider yung feelings ng ibang tao. No? Though this stage naman, medyo may pagkaano pa rin, selfish pa din. No? Since, andito kasi sila or nandito sila sa part ng process wherein pinaprocess nila na hindi lang sa akin naka-center ang mundo. Hindi lang ako yung tao or hindi na sa akin hindi na sa akin yung attention nila. So, kailangan ko na may attention sa akin yung ibang tao. But, at the same time, is kailangan kong i-widen yung perspective ko. Kailangan kong i-consider kung ano man yung feelings nito or kailangan ko na makisama. Ganon. So, doon nabubuo yung mga parts na yun. So, nagwa-widen yung perspective ng mga bata and then na-realize nila na hindi lang sila nag-iisa, na kailangan may mga tao din sila i-take care of. That's why, ito yung tinatawag na significant development of the self. So, as sa play stage din, doon nabubuo yung social communication or social relationships ng mga bata. So, after play stage, we have the game stage. Ayan, the child begins to consider several tasks and various types of relationships simultaneously. So, kaya niya nang mag-multitask or kaya na natin mag-multitask. And the children now begin to see not only his own perspective, but at the same time, the perspective of the people around them. So, hindi na lang yan napapansin or hindi lang na-realize ng bata na meron siyang mga bagay or mga tao na mas kailangan pang i-consider. Pero mas naiintindihan na niya yung emotions, mas naiintindihan na nila yung situation, gano'n. So, as yung perspective ng mga yon. And yung perspective na yon is, okay, I have to consider this. Ganyan. And kaya na nilang mag-handle or they can handle different relationship regarding their peers, relationship with their classmates, relationship with their family. Ayan. So, kaya na nilang mag-multitask when it comes to relationships. Ayan. So, sa game stage, we have this term generalized other. When we say generalized other, for Mead, it used to explain the behavior of the person when he sees or considered other people in the course of his action. So, kung dito na sa games, kung sa play stage, meron tayong tinatawag na social relationships. Sa game stage naman, meron tayong tinatawag na generalized others. So, yung generalized other na yun yung part ng stage ni Mead kung saan yung isang bata is natututunan niya kung paano i-consider or kung ano ba yung feelings ng other people. No, before he proceeds in making an action. So, doon na siya natututo na mag-isip, hindi lamang para sa kanyang sarili, pero para na rin sa kapwa niya. So, next one, through generalized other, the person realizes that people and the society have cultural norms, beliefs, values, and which are incorporated into each self. So, dito niya natututunan kung paano gumalang, hindi lamang sa sarili or sa family. That's just like po and opo. But, dito din nare-realize ng mga bata na we have different cultural norms. Na hindi lahat is same goal or same ng katayuan katulad ng sa kanya. So, dito din nare-realize nila na ang tao is meron silang iba't iba or meron tayong iba't ibang paniniwala. So, iba't iba din yung values natin as a person, no? So, doon nila na-realize yun through generalize others. Kasi this time, they consider other person's feelings na. So, that's why, hindi lang yung feelings or emotions yung naiintindihan nila, but the way on how they live or their thoughts. Yun din yung naiintindihan nila. So, yan, this is the stages of self-formation. Yung diniscuss ko kanina, yung may preparatory stage, play stage, and game stage. So, for the self-formation stage sa preparatory, yung existence ng self is wala pa. Kasi they imitate other people. So, as yung play stage naman is yung existence ng self naman is developing. So, role-taking. So, dito yung other upgraded exploration stage. Kasi nga, sa play stage, dun pa lang nakakapag-start na i-develop or mag-create ng social relationships. So, on the game stage naman, so present na yung self. Since na-process na siya during play stage, wherein ang characteristic ng game stage is the generalized other. So, meaning to say, they realizes na hindi lang tayo or hindi lang sa sarili niya iikot yung mundo, but there are other people that he has to consider. Okay, Mead's theory of the self. For George Herbert Mead, the self is not present at birth, but begins as the central character in the child's world. So, medyo katulad siya ng tabula rasa ni John Locke. Pero, ang pinagkaiba lang nila, instead na kay John Locke kasi, ang mind daw natin is empty, but kay Mead, is yung self lang is hindi siya present, no? But, for George Herbert Mead, yung self natin is developing as we grow older. And yung self natin, once na it is present, it would be the central character in the child's world. Yung sarili or yung self. So, me and I, so he has this discussion. Madali lang to, para lang tong subject-verb agreement. So, I self is when a person imitates or perform a social action. So, the self function as a subject. So, the subject element of the self is I. For example, I will go on a date. I will cook the dinner tonight. So, naka-center sa'yo or naka-center sa atin yung naka-center sa I yung mga ginagawa mo. So, next one, ayan. When the person takes the role of the other, the self functions as an object. So, tayo naman yung object sa me. So, the objective element of the self is me. For example, the choice for the best drawing is given to me. Ayan. Like, eto din yung aking example dito. You love me. Ayan. So, kaya yung me is nagiging object siya ng sentence. Madali lang naman yan. Pag ang I ang nauuna, ibig sabihin subject yung I. Pag sa me naman, or me self, is nasa dulo siya madalas. Since ikaw yung tagatanggap, or Yung me self, siya yung tagatanggap ng mga roles ng other people. Siya yung nagtitake ng role. Ayan. Padali lang to, parang subject verb argument. Next one, we have Charles Horton Cooley. So, si Charles Horton Cooley, he is a American sociologist. So, he made use of this socio-psychological approach to understanding how societies works. So, wait lang ha. So, ang socio-psychological class is the combination of social and psychological factors. Ayan. Ng society. Okay? And this theory asserts that individuals and the societies are interlinked. Yung individual or tayo at saka yung society is magkasama or interlinked with others. And ito yung approach na ginamit ni Charles Horton Cooley para mas maintindihan niya kung paano nagwo-work ang isang society. Okay? So, ang sa socio-psychological theory, it means that yung isang individual or tayo, we strive to meet the needs. Needs nino, hindi natin, pero needs ng society. And yung society naman is tinutulungan tayo para ma-meet yung ating goal. So, yung interaction na yon is doon na de-determine yung ating personality as an individual. So, for him, he stated that people learn who they are through their social interaction with other people. So, yun yung isa sa product na naitutulong sa atin ng society. So, we learn how to interact with other people. So as the view of the self is also significantly influenced by the impression and perceptions of others. So, how people perceives us, how people sees us. So, yun yung, or dun daw natin nakikita yung ating sarili, or dun daw natin mas naiintindihan yung sarili natin. So, have you ever heard of the word our friends is the mirror of ourselves? So, yung mga kaibigan daw natin is yung mirror ng ating sarili. Ha?
Yes po.
Okay, anong ibig sabihin nun?
According to sa perception ko lang po.
Sige po, okay lang. Walang problema.
Yun po. So, our friends is the mirror of ourselves. Kasi po para sa akin po, yung kung sino po yung like kaugnay or something na may same personality tayo is dun po tayo sumasama.
Okay, very good. Doon tayo nagko-conform madalas, diba? And, tawag nito, yung point of view kasi natin is nai-influensyahan din madalas ng mga friends natin. So, that's why friends is the mirror of ourselves. Ganon. And sometimes, mas naiintindihan natin yung sarili natin because of our friends. Kasi, lalo na yung mga friends na sobrang open nila, na yung tipong walang preno yung mga bibig, ganon. Yung mga friends na yun kasi, no, they always sees us or they always say kung ano man yung gusto nilang sabihin because of, through us. So, yun. So, next one, looking glass self. So, ito yung looking glass self. The self is the product of the social interaction. So, kung makapapansin nyo yung picture, no, ayan. So, in the looking glass self, there are some things that may mga bagay na gusto nating mangyari or gusto nating maging tayo. Ganon. And when we look at the mirror, no, there are some times na doon natin nakikita kung ano yung gusto nating maging through imagination, syempre. So next one, we have 3 phases of the developing self according to Horton, Cooley. So number 1, for him, people imagine how they present themselves to others. Like for example, you greet your teachers politely in the school hallway. Kasi we tend to we always wanted to have a good impression to other people. So that's why we imagine how are we going to present ourselves to others. And so as 'di ba, I think before naman kayo graduate ng grade 12, naranasan yung mag-defense. Kahit title defense. Na-try
Yes
po,
po,
hindi.
ma'am.
Yes
Na-try,
po,
yes
ma'am.
po.
Na-try naman
Try
po.
po, ma'am.
Ayun po. So, syempre, di ba, bago kayo humarap sa panel is gusto ninyo is maayos at kaaya-aya yung inyong sarili, 'di ba? So that's why may mga madalas nag-corporate attire yung mga magpe-present ng kanilang thesis or research paper, 'di ba? So because of the developing of the self, yun yung nagiging product niya. Kasi we always wanted to present ourselves to others, no? We tend always to not just imagine but take life yung mga we wanted, how are we going to present to other people. Kasi gusto natin na yung mga ibang tao is yung impression sa atin is maging maganda. So next one, people imagine how others evaluate them. So like for example, others will see you as courteous and well-bred. So balik tayo sa unang example. So doon sa kagustuhan mo na magkaroon ng magandang impression doon sa teacher mo, you greeted him politely. And external factors na yung other people. Bakit? Kasi for example, sa hallway ng sikat, naglalakad kayo, tapos binati nyo. Kung may ibang tao na nakakita sa inyo or nakarinig. So, aakalain nila or magiging perception nila, ay, ang ano naman, ang bait naman ng batang to, ang polite naman ng batang to, 'di ba? So that's why people imagine how others would evaluate them. That's why we always wanted to have a good impression, like the number 1. We imagine how we present ourselves to other people. Kasi we always also imagine how people would evaluate us. Hindi lang tayo yung mag-evaluate sa sarili natin, but also other people would evaluate us. Next one, last stage is people development some sort of feelings about themselves as a result of impression. Like for example, you may see yourself as confident of inferior. So meaning to say, nung time, like for example, nasagutan niyo yung problem set sa calculus ng tama, no? Nakuha niyo yung pinakatamang sagot na binigay dun sa problem set ng prof niyo. So, dun na, and after nun, nung nakatama na kayo, is okay, you feel proud, you feel, super happy. Ayan, kasi, nasagutan mo yung problem set ng maayos. So, dun natin nabubuo yung confidence natin. So, dito sa third stage is, ito yung product or kung ano man yung product nung stage 1 and stage 2, dun yun nakikita sa stage 3. Kasi, madedevelop lang yung sort of impression or yung feelings natin about ourselves galing dun sa impressions about the two. Impression of the others and impressions no iisang tao, which is yung subject mo. Okay? Kasi dito sabi, people imagine yung dalawa. Okay? How we present ourselves to others and how others evaluate them. So, kapag nalaman na natin or na-realize natin kung paano tayo mag-present or paano natin i-present yung sarili natin to others and how others would evaluate us, no? So, dun natin madedevelop yung sort of our self-impression sa sarili natin. Ayan. So, nakadepende sa other people yung impressions natin sa sarili natin dito sa three phases of the developing self. So next one, we have Erving Goffman. Si Erving Goffman po, he is a Canadian-American sociologist known for his role in the development of the modern American sociologies. And he is also a sociologist. So we have this impression management. So the impression management is the process of altering how the person presents himself to other people. So pakadulad din to ng developing of the self. We always imagine or how our how we present ourselves. Pero ito upgraded kasi we alter our self. Like for example, yung sa mga first dates, ayan. Imagine na lang natin hindi pandemic ngayon. Tapos niyaya mo yung crush mo na mag-milk tea. Ayan. And then syempre gusto mo na hindi lang magmukhang presentable ka, pero magmukha kang maganda or gwapo sa paningin niya. Yung parang, okay, sa akin lang dapat yung kanyang attention display. Ganyan. So, ito yung process or yung impression management, how we manage the impression sa atin ng tao once na makita nila tayo. So, impression management also is nakikita to or mostly na-observe to sa mga job interviews. 'Di ba? Once na humarap tayo sa mga interviewers, we really wanted to have a good impressions to them. So, that's why nagkakaroon tayo ng different character pagdating sa interview or job interview natin. Kasi, we wanted to have a good impression to other people. And ayan, like dito for example, okay. Ayan. So sa dramaturgical approach naman, ito yung similarity of real social interaction to theatrical presentation. So part pa din siya ng theory ni Erving Goffman. So ito yung dramaturgical approach. Yung parang deja vu in real life. Ay, wait lang, parang napanood ko to sa soap opera. Or, nabasa ko to sa kung saan. Ganon. So, yun si dramaturgical approach. And with that, we're ending our discussion.